Today, we're going to talk about something really insidious, a type of financial crime that's so dangerous because it doesn't come from a stranger. It comes from someone who claims to be one of your own.
I mean, just think about that for a second. We're all taught to trust people who share our background, right? People who speak our language, who share our faith. But what happens when that very trust is turned into a weapon? And that brings us to this key idea, cultural affinity. This isn't just a random scam. Oh no, it's a deliberate strategy. See, these predators know that many communities are, a little wary of big, impersonal banks. So they use your shared heritage like a disguise to get right past your natural defenses.
And this is what's so awful about it. They take something truly beautiful and powerful, like the African concept of Ubuntu, which means I am because we are, or the deep-rooted tradition of filial piety, and they just twist it for their own personal gain. It's a betrayal on a whole different level.
Okay, so how exactly do they do it? How do they manage to infiltrate these really tight-knit circles? Let's pull back the curtain and take a look at their playbook.
What's really striking is just how methodical they are. They speak your language, both literally and culturally. They'll show up at your church or community center. You'll hear them on ethnic radio stations pitching these exclusive deals that are meant just for our community. It's all an act, designed to make you think, hey, this person gets me. They're one of us.
But look, this isn't just some theory. The consequences are absolutely devastatingly real. Let's look at a few case studies so you can see how this plays out in the real world.
A perfect and tragic example is the New York City taxi medallion crisis. This whole scheme was aimed squarely at immigrant drivers, many from South Asia, who saw owning one of those medallions as their path to the American dream. So you had lenders, and get this, often from within their own community, pushing drivers like a Bangladeshi immigrant named Mohammed Hoke to take on an incredible amount of debt. We're talking up to $1.7 million. All while he was earning just $30,000 a year. The math is impossible, right? Because of things like language barriers and just zero oversight, people signed loans with terms they couldn't possibly understand or repay. It was a trap from the very beginning.
And this isn't just a big city problem. Down in the colonias of South Texas, you have these predatory lenders they call financieras, and they target immigrants who don't have social security numbers, people who can't just get a traditional loan if their car breaks down or something.
Just look at this comparison. A typical personal loan has an interest rate somewhere between 10 and 28%. These financieras were charging between 200 and 500%. That's not a loan. That's financial quicksand. It is designed to pull you under and drown you in debt.
And the threat extends to homeowners too. A bank called Immigrant had this Star Nina program that went right after Black and Latino families. It came with these hidden, super high default interest rates, around 18%, that were specifically designed to make people fail. The goal was never repayment. The goal was foreclosure, so the bank would strip away all their home equity.
So, we've seen the damage. Now, let's open up the scammer's toolbox. Because by understanding their tactics and recognizing the red flags, you can start to protect yourself and your community.
So what's the big question, right? How do you tell the difference between a genuine offer and a predatory trap? Well, let's lay out some really clear warning signs.
Okay, this chart is basically your first line of defense. A scammer will always demand advance fees or some kind of insurance before you see a dime. A real lender never does that. Scammers will guarantee impossible returns and create this sense of panic, rushing you to decide right now. A legitimate business explains the risks and gives you time and clear paperwork to review.
And you have to remember, fear is their most powerful tool. In the ICE imposter scam, they'll call, pretend to be an immigration agent, and demand money to avoid deportation. It's a classic tactic that preys on a community's specific, deep-seated fears. Another one is the instant refund you see around tax time. They promise you fast money, but it's really just a high-interest loan you're borrowing against the refund you were already getting anyway.
Okay, so we know the threats, we know the tactics. So what do we do about it? Let's build your financial shield with a clear, actionable strategy for protection.
It really all comes down to these 3 simple steps. First, verify everything. Don't just take someone's word for it, even if they seem trustworthy. Second, check your credit reports regularly. You gotta monitor for identity theft or loans you didn't take out. And third, seek out safe, reliable resources.
And this is a hugely critical piece of information that scammers do not want you to know. They prey on the fear that you have no rights.
And that is absolutely false. Your assets have legal protection in the United States no matter what your immigration status is, period.
So instead of relying on rumors or tempting offers, these are the places you should turn to. Community-based credit unions are fantastic. They often specialize in helping immigrants build credit safely, and nonprofit financial counselors can give you straight, unbiased advice. These are your true allies.
So, we'll leave you with this question. Think about the offers you've seen, the promises you've heard in your own community. Awareness is always the first step. By learning to spot these traps, we can protect ourselves and, just as important, expose those who betray our trust.